Pleasant good afternoon to all my viewers and my subscribers. This is Jah-P Sports Talk. I hope everyone is keeping safe. I just want to say a big congratulations to Cavalier Football Club on defending their Jamaica Premier League title last night versus Mount Pleasant. Trust me, it was a match filled of joy, sadness, all of those words you can think about. Trust me. You know, at one point in the match, I definitely think that Mount Pleasant had more opportunities and should have scored. I also see where Cavalier had a few small chances they could have scored also. So, it was a 50-50 ball game. Trust me. In the first half, you could see a high pressing ball game. The players were just all over each other, you know? Like you couldn't get away from someone. As you look, someone is on your feet, trust me, it was a nice game. It was a nice game played. Such a pity I could not be there, but I was watching it live last night on Sportsmax. So I want to say a big, big, big up to Sportsmax, for keeping us informed, keeping us connected. You understand me? So the first half finished at nil. Then the second half also finished at nil. Then it went to extra time, So they played the first 15 minutes and played again. And trust me, football, trust me, man, it's a hell of a sports. Later on in the second 15 minutes, there were some high tension moments. A few players getting yellow cards. But it didn't went out of proportion. I must give thumbs up to referee. I'm not even sure who was the referee last night, but I want to give thumbs up to the referee. Trust me, I have to say the referee definitely controlled the match. You know, it wasn't a match of too much yellow cards, too much bad moments. You understand me? It was just where players were just moving fast on each other's and stuff like that, trying to get the ball, trying to gain possession. You know, Cavalier had a few turnovers, Mount Pleasant had a few turnovers. So, I said, it was a 50-50 ball game. As I said at one point in time, I would say that Mount Pleasant had more opportunities than Cavalier. But in the end, Cavalier is the champion. They won 6-5 on penalty. So, Cavalier Ainsworth missing the second penalty. Then Sule Makala missing the fourth penalty for Mount Pleasant. And then when they think that things would have come good for Mount Pleasant. Thomas kicked away the penalty. Clifford Thomas kicked away. He's from 80. Kicked away the penalty. So that sealed the trophy for Cavalier. So another title for Cavalier. You know, the Jamaica Premier League came to a end. You know, and I just want to big up all the sponsors. Everyone who played a role in making the Jamaica Premier League possible. We know about Rhea Neville, J. Rhea Neville, Fasca Oates. I'm not sure of all of the sponsors right now. So sponsors, please don't blame me. I'm not sure of all the sponsors, but all the sponsors that played a role in making the Jamaica Premier League happen. I just want to give them a big, big thumbs up. And all the private persons out there also, because sometimes some private persons pumping some money into the business, you know. So we have to give thanks for everyone who, played a role in getting everything. The salesperson, the marketing manager of Jamaica, everyone, everyone who definitely came together and made this possible. It was a season filled of joy and happiness for some of these teams. Some teams being promoted or getting regulated or, staying in contention, making to the playoff, making to the third place. Trust me, it was a sad and happy moment for a lot of these clubs. You know, sad for some of these clubs that got regulated. But they just have to just work harder for next season. Well, they're not gonna come back for next season, but work harder in the championship and then try to come back up. You know. So Rudolph Speed, he and Tapa Whitmore as definitely, I would say, one of the two top coaches in Jamaica. We know about Admiral Bailey and Jerome Wade. So we have some top coaches. We have some top coaches, and Mount Pleasant and Cavalier, their teams are pretty much young team. You know, there were a lot of talks ahead of the semi-final or playoffs where Mount Pleasant had some players from 80 where they were saying that they were using ineligible players. So but in the end, it all works out well. I think they did not get away on one of those charges. But, nevertheless, we hope that going forward, the Jamaica Premier League and the JFF, everyone who is looking over everything, will get everything organized. So going forward, both they and the club are on the same page. And we're hoping that these clubs can also keep themselves safe from future problems like these. You understand me? We know that you want to get players and to compete and stuff like that. Some of these clubs don't want any foreign based players. They want to use as much local based players as possible. We saw the goalkeeper for Cavalier is from St. Lucia, you know. So, yes, one and two of these clubs, they are going to have a few foreign based players, but not a large influx, not a large influx, you know. So trust me, I hope that I think a few years ago I was at the one of the Jamaica Premier League final. I think that was the year when Portmore won. I don't remember which year was that, but sometime now, you know. And I hope that sometime to come, I will be there back again at the final, semi-final, or playoff somewhere along the line. You understand me? But I am a bit disappointed at the National Stadium pitch. The pitch did not look properly at all. The pitch did not look proper. I'm not sure what is going on with the groundsman, but the grass, it don't look proper. You know, you could see some part of the pitch seems like it did not get as much water, or it got too much water, or something obvious. I don't know. The pitch did not look welcome at all for a grand final. It did not look welcome. You know, but with all said and done, we are happy that they played the game, and it was a nice crowd. It was a nice crowd. I think it could have been more. I'm not sure if it is the ticketing price is still too high, or is it that people just did not come out. I'm not sure what it is, but we're hoping that next season they can work on that and we can have more persons in the stadium. We're not gonna have the stadium filled or full, but at least we could have to a certain capacity where we can really say yes, you know, like how the national stadium look. I know it's not the Jamaica Reggae Boys, but at the same point in time, I still think that there are a lot of persons um, in the country. You understand me? I know it's gonna be hard for persons the western side and so on to really travel all the way to Kingston. But even just in Kingston alone, have a large amount of football fans. But nevertheless, I don't want to be ungrateful. As I said, it was a nice crowd. Just that I would have loved to see more. But as I said, hopefully going forward, the organizers and everyone they can try to find a way out to drop the ticket price maybe to um $500 or $1,000. But we know financially things are tough. They have to pay Independence Park Limited and all of that for renting the stadium and all that. So trust me, they have to do things to get back some money so they can make a little profit and also to pay their bills. You understand me? So it's just one of those days. But let me hear from you if you think that the ticketing prices were a little bit too much, or is it that person just decided against coming to the final. But nevertheless, as I said, I am happy that the final came and it has finished. And we look forward for future happenings. You know, the next couple months from now is schoolboy football. You know, we look forward towards that also. You know, so a lot of sports to be played. You know, we know about the Racers Grand Prix going to be there at the National Stadium next month on June 7th. So, you know, we look forward to for this. You know, I think they have roughly 2 weeks to try and get the grass up together. You know, so I guess the groundsmen will start back work early this morning or early Monday morning, you know, trying to get stuff going again. You understand me for that Racers Grand Prix. So my viewers and subscribers, I'm going to end this video right now. If there is anything that I left off, just to let you know before I finish, Arnett Gardens won the third place playoff. They defeated Montego Bay United 4-2. All right. So just to let you know that. So as I said earlier, and I'm going to end this video right now. Thank you so much for subscribing, like, share, and comment. And I wish you guys all the best for the remainder of the weekend. So keep safe until next time. This is Jah-P Sports Talk.